friends, this is Captain Dave with Simple Plan Trucking. I'm here along with Ms. Brooke. She's in the back rustling us up some chow for the night. And we're parked here outside of Chicago, close to Aurora, Illinois. We delivered today a craft load, some cream cheese all the way from New York, and brought it over here, dropped it off, came down here to the Loves south of town, got showered up, got parked up for the night. We have another load to pick up tomorrow morning. Short load. It's only going about 300 and some miles, but it pays really well, somewhere over to Ohio. And we're going to deliver that mid-morning and then be headed out again to parts unknown. But I wanted to visit with you today, and I wanted to talk to you something that's been on my heart, it's been on my mind. And you know, some of the other YouTube channels have talked about it, and I usually don't jump on the bandwagon and talk about what everybody else is, but I wanted to talk a little bit about this holiday incentive. It's not a bonus, it's an incentive. And Prime has decided this year that they're going to give out about 15 different prizes. I'm sure you're all aware of them and what they are. And I've been a little disappointed in some of the response from people about it. I guess maybe it's because times have been so good and the incentives and bonuses in the past have been great. This year, it's not. And it's really because the economy is not. And much of the bonus money in the past has been fronted by our customers because times were so good, there were so many loads that needed to be sent out that they were willing to pay some extra money to make sure the freight that they needed delivered leading up to Christmas and even after Christmas into the holiday, the New Year season, was going to be delivered. But they're not willing to do that this year. So what does that say? Well, it says that times are tougher, times are leaner, there's not as much freight going for a lot of different reasons, and they are unwilling to pay that extra money to get the loads delivered. There won't be as many loads delivered this holiday season as there were last year and maybe in the past as well. You know, I listen and I hear comments and I read comments, and many people want to blame Prime. And I think that that's kind of short-sighted because, you know, we work for a fantastic company, maybe one of the best trucking companies. Certainly it has been for Brooke and I in our first year in the business. I have our earnings have far surpassed what we expected to be. I make more money than I ever had in my life. And we've put away a ton of money in the first 7 or 8 months that we've been driving together as a team. I hope that you have too, because holiday incentive aside, if you listened closely, nearly everyone that spoke yesterday in the morning meeting, and I'd encourage you to watch those morning meetings because there's a lot of good information. And sometimes you have to listen closely because they don't come out and say things, but there are little kernels that are dropped, little bits of information. But yesterday it was right out there, and even from Mr. Lowe at the end of the meeting. The first quarter is going to be tough. The first quarter is going to be challenging. And, you know, I guess in the past, the first quarter's always been challenging, but it seems to me that they're thinking it's going to be worse this year than maybe it has in the past. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to make sure that we're ready for that. Hopefully you've been saving money, putting money back for the lean times, because everybody will say it, you know, in trucking, there's good times and there's bad times, and you can't just blow the money that you make in the good times and think you're going to get through the bad times. Brooke and I are going to be just fine. We hope you are too. But, you know, expect for there to be fewer loads. Expect for the, you know, your line haul to be less. The money that you make for the loads will be less. Expect that we're going to have to deadhead more in the first quarter. And know that, you know, we're not going to make the money that we have been making. You know, I firmly believe that it'll still be good. You know, it'll still be worth being out here and not being at home. I expect to make more money than I did in my last job. And certainly for us, with both of us driving, we're just doing very well. But even as a solo driver, I think the money will be there in the first quarter for you to continue doing what you're doing. My understanding is that Prime has never let truckers go, no matter how bad times have gotten. They manage the bad times through attrition, meaning drivers that leave for another company, or they get frustrated because their earnings aren't as much, or they have another opportunity, or they get asked not to come back, they get let go. And also by managing the number of people that they're bringing in. You listen to some of the trainers' videos, Twisted Big D and others, then they'll tell you that the new trainees coming in are dialed back. There's fewer drivers being brought in right now because Prime tries to do a really good job of managing the number of new people that they bring in against their current drivers so that they can protect their driver base. Listen, Prime wants us to be here. They want us to stay. They've invested their time in us, and they've paid us money to get trained up to do this job. An experienced driver is worth so much to any company, but certainly to Prime, because they've done so much to give us fantastic training. They don't want us to leave, and you don't want to leave. So, buckle your belt, tighten your belt, and get ready for the next few months, because they're probably going to be challenging. Now, the holiday incentive, it's not a bonus, it's an incentive. But a lot of people are disappointed because they feel like, well, I'm not going to win one of those prizes, or I'm not going to get anything. But step back for a minute and just realize that you have a fabulous job, and you're making great money to be hauling freight for one of the best companies that does what we do. There are many people out there that have worked for Prime in the past that would love to come back. Maybe they were let go, maybe they had an accident, maybe they, for whatever reason, they weren't able to continue working at Prime. And I guarantee you that they're looking at these trucks and these trailers driving by, and they may be working for another company now, or maybe not in trucking at all. And they're saying, I sure miss what I do. I sure made great money. I'd give anything to be back driving a truck for Prime again. That's really what our prize is we have a great job, and we make great money, and we have the capacity to make as much money pretty much as we want to make. Many smart people out there that have been doing this longer than us have told me it's all in what you want to do. You can get out there and just hit it and drive, 10 hours, just switch out and constantly drive, and you're gonna make a ton of money. Or you can slow it down a little bit and you can enjoy life on the road. And I've told you before, we're trying to figure out what's the best for us. But the bottom line is you have a job, and you got a job for a great company, and you're well compensated to be here. So consider that as you move into the holiday season. We have so much to be thankful for. And I'm very thankful to Prime and to Mr. Lowe for offering any incentive at all. They don't have to do anything, but the message that comes with what they are doing is, we're offering this incentive to you because we want you to stay. We value you. But also, look at it this way. They're basically saying they're not paying the money that they have in the past to keep people on the roads during the holiday season. Well, that's probably because there isn't as much freight, and the need isn't as great for as many of us to be out there during the holidays as there has been in the past. You heard him say it today or yesterday morning in the morning meeting. He said, hey, if you got family, go home and spend some time with your family at Christmas. Balance that between work. I think that probably this year, maybe more than years in the past, it would be a good time to take some time off and go home, because there's just not going to be as much freight. There will be freight leading up to the holidays, so certainly if you want to work, stay out there and hammer it. We're planning to. And the main reason is because we want to do as much as we can through the holiday season, knowing that when January, February, and March gets here, it's going to be a slow quarter. So we want to try to continue that bank. We're going to try to put as much of it away as we can to be ready for the lean times. And you really, really have to do that. So, hey, that's really all I have for today. I wanted to give you my 2 cents on it. Don't be angry at the Lowe's or at Prime.
I think we need to appreciate Prime doing their best to keep our rates the same as they have been.
Yes.
And still get us
Me too. Thanks for reminding me of that. We talked about it before the video, but listen, Mr. Lowe said it yesterday. They're hammering every day to try to get our customers to honor the rates and honor the contracts and continue to pay us what they told us they were going to pay us. They're feeling pressure from everyone.
They're working hard for us.
Right, that they're not making as much money. The companies aren't, so they're trying to come back and renegotiate or try to get the companies to take less money for the loads that are out there. And you know what? There are companies out there that are taking less money. So
they're getting pressured, the companies that are buying from us, and so you know, in all fairness, they want a break, and we're trying to give them good service without having to give them that break.
Right. There's very few companies that have that kind of power to say in a market like this that can say, no, you know, we deliver on time, and we're a big enough company that we can manage the loads that you have, and the companies do recognize that. So right now the rates are pretty much where they were on the contract freight. They are under contract. Basically, the company said they'd pay us this amount of money, so they are. But there is pressure, and there isn't extra money like there has been in the past to say, let's keep those trucks going and keep those loads coming in through the holidays. So
it's just teamwork for everybody to bite the bullet and not get bonuses this year, but to work together and get through this time.
Right.
And know that Rob Lowe is doing what he can to help us get through it.
Yeah. I am very appreciative for the incentive program that he offered this year. It's a gesture. Not everybody's going to get something. You know, I've heard that flatbed and tanker maybe aren't even eligible for it. I don't know if that's true or not. It seems to me that doesn't make sense. I would think that all AC drivers should be eligible in some way, or each truck anyway should be eligible for the prizes. So I'm not sure. I have heard that maybe not everyone is eligible for it, but be that as it may, I don't look for there to be, I'm not disappointed in that we're not getting as much of a bonus as we have in the past, or the incentive isn't something that everyone will get. I really think that being upset about that and looking to blame Prime is kind of misguided. Really what you should do is consider why it's that way. Why is there less freight? Why is there pressure to reduce the amount of pay for the freight? It's not because of the trucking company.
It's not because of Prime.
It's not because of Prime. I mean, Mr. Lowe's in the business to make money, and you know what? I hope he continues to make money, because if he doesn't, we won't have a job. So I really think that you need to consider what's going on in our world, that there's a much bigger picture than Prime Incorporated, and there are many contributing factors as to why freight is down and why pay is down for loads. And I really think it has to do more with the economy and freight coming into our country, and not coming into the reduced freight coming into the country. We've got a looming strike with the rail lines, which could drastically increase.
Which I think got taken care of.
Hopefully it did. I know there have been negotiations, but I haven't heard for sure that it's been approved. But so much of what we're going through, in our opinion, could have been avoided.
As the economy was 2 years ago.
We're not. Yes, 2 years ago we were singing. We were flying high. We were doing great, and we're not now. And it's more has to do with decisions that are made on a national level that hurt our economy than it does with the trucking company that we work for. So I only say that to remind you that elections have consequences. And I think that Americans, all of us, myself included, can sometimes have short memories. And 2 years from now, we'll be getting ready to elect a president again, and we'll be electing more members of Congress. And we need to remember the situation that our country's in right now, and remember that when we go to the polls in 2 years, that it has directly impacted America's lives, and it has affected my life and Brooke's life, and it's affected your lives too. And it's really more of an indictment on decisions that were made that affect our economy than it is with the trucking company that we work for. So that's it. You know, listen, we're having so much fun out here. Brooke's been kind of taking some time, not off, but she was a little under the weather, and so we've been driving solo for the last week or so, but we're getting ready to kick back into gear and drive as a team.
Which was interesting, driving solo, because
Yeah.
it was kind of gave us a taste of what it's like for you solo drivers out there.
Yeah.
And y'all got a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah, it made us realize that we hammer it pretty hard because, you know, I drive and then she drives, and I drive and then she drives. But
We're
man,
always moving.
with me just driving for the last week, we're parked every night. I mean, we parked in here about 3 o'clock, and we don't pick up our next load until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So we went in and we showered, and we're gonna make some dinner here. We have time to do a video. It's just a different life than when you run as a team. So I told her not to get used to that though, because literally your money is cut in half too when you run solo.
Yeah.
So
We be honest, we're in the hole this past week.
yeah.
We're just getting in the hole right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, we have money in the bank, but for what our goals are, we're a little bit in the hole.
Yeah, we had a flat week, and you know, we had some.
That I'm in the hole.
Right. Well, the interesting thing is, you know, I pay Brooke a little bit as the secondary driver, but it all just goes into the company. So we pay our bills out of our company, and we pay, you know, every month. But she has a little bit of a paycheck, and I try to give her just a little bit of mad money or some spending money and put on her Com Data card that she can do whatever she wants with. But what's happened is the last few weeks with us being in home time and then doing this, she pays for our health insurance too, and so that's been coming out of her check every week. So as she's been off, I've been watching her. She goes into the hole more and more each week, only like a couple $100 a week or something like that. But so we're motivated to get back on the road. Listen,
another good reason to save your money. You know, I pulled some muscles and I wasn't able to work.
Right.
I just didn't feel comfortable driving. I was in a lot of pain, and so I was out of commission for a couple weeks, and it's just something to think about. It was some uncontrolled circumstances happened, and that's gonna happen. That's life. And so definitely put your savings away before you spend.
right. And you know,
it was a rainy day.
We talk about our high expectations all the time. I expect to make a lot of money in a year, and as the year goes on, these kinds of things happen. Holidays are coming up, tax season's coming up. You know, we spend some money, but we're still saving just a ton of money. I've never been able to save money like this before, and so So we had a technical malfunction. The RAM mount fell off the window, and so we're finishing up this video. But what I was saying was, to make the last point, you know, we just made a ton of money, and we're so blessed, and we're so thankful to be where we are, to be doing what we're doing. We feel like God has led us to be here, and sometimes you have to go out on a limb and take a chance, a leap of faith, so to speak, and we've done that. And yeah, there's tough days and there's frustrations, and sometimes we're not real happy with each other, but by and large we are. We know that this is what we need to be doing right now so that we'll have a better life for ourselves.
And I know that if we trust in God, He's going to get us through the holidays, and He's going to get us through these tough times ahead in January and February.
Absolutely.
When things are slower. And
yeah. You know, I know not everyone's a believer, but I have to tell you that for us, I can't imagine not having a belief system and knowing that in the end, it's all going to be okay, no matter how bad things get, no matter how bad the economy gets, no matter how far this world falls. There is a God, and if you know Him, there's just a peace that comes with that. So, you know, I'd encourage you to work on that. Work on your relationship. That's really all we have right now. We're going to close, and
we have a whole lot more, but we got to start cooking.
Yeah, more content for later. Got some other things we want to talk about. But we're going to start cooking. We're going to have some supper. We're going to get a good night's sleep, and then get back on the road tomorrow. This is Captain Dave and Ms Brooke with Simple Plan Trucking.
Bye, y'all.
We love you. Take care. and we'll be seeing y'all down the road.